I want to get to something that's very poignant about Alhambra, and a question that I've often asked guests in positions um, of influence and like Eric and Chris Olson and Ron Sahu. With this pandemic, it's not gonna be once we get the vaccine, and thank God they've approved emergency for the Pfizer vaccine, but when a vaccine comes in, it doesn't mean it's over. Things like this will have repercussions 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, given the most ideal situation that the Gurdwara has a permanent space in Alhambra. How do you feel Alhambra would come out of a crisis such as this 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? What is both for your hopes in that?
So, in our history of working with the homeless and the food insecure and at-risk communities, we have found that, when people have something to eat, when they have that certainty that they will have something to eat or a way of feeding their families, it takes a great stress off of their minds and helps them chart their future course of action better. So we intend to continue this food giveaway program irrespective of what happens with the COVID situation.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the situation is totally under control, we still believe that there is still a need for food in the community. So as long as we are here, as long as the congregation is here, the food distribution is not going anywhere. It will only grow. We will adjust it based on the needs, but we intend to continue the food giveaway. And we feel that in the coming years, like you said, 5 to 10 years from now, I believe that having a place of, where people can go to get something to eat, and with God's grace, if we are able to, grow our operations, my vision is that we would be adding on a walk-in clinic and
Mm-hmm.
a place where people can access social security and Medicare resources in terms of, filling out the paperwork, going through the hoops, understanding what their rights are, what they could access. I believe that this can be a place that is a community resource, not just for the Sikh community, but for the entire community in the area. So when people know they are at risk of being evicted or at risk of, their utilities being shut off, they can reach out to us and we will do all we can to help them prevent that situation, whether it is with the help of donations from our own congregation or accessing resources that are available. Because we see a lot of people who speak only Chinese or only
Mm-hmm.
Vietnamese. They do not speak other languages, so they do not know where to turn for help. So our hope and prayer is that we will be able to grow our operations to where we have people on site, people like you or other volunteers who speak Asian languages, who could understand what they are going through and direct them to the correct place where they can get that help, and providing an emergency or a walk-in or a primary care medical facility, where people can maybe access a quick COVID test, or get a quick diagnosis of whether it is just a fever or whether it is the flu or whether it is something more serious, because I feel that every human being deserves the access to basic medical care. I'm not talking of cancer therapy. I'm talking of basic medical care. You have a toothache, you should be able to get a prescription for an antibiotic till you can get in to see a doctor, to see a
Mm-hmm.
dentist or something. So whether it is a sprain or is it something serious, you should have that access. That is a basic human dignity requirement. That is not something that we are asking for. So I feel that, we need to provide those resources to Alhambra and surrounding cities so that in the coming years, we have a healthy community in Alhambra. We have a more content community in Alhambra, a more secure community in Alhambra, where people generally have access to what a basic human being would expect living in a country like America, where there is so much affluence, where there's so much money and so many resources. We are the world leaders in terms of everything. And to see people suffer for basic necessities, to people scrambling for basic necessities is a shame. And we need to work together as a community with volunteer organizations, people in the community, the city, the elected leaders, the retired leaders who have gone through challenges and who can provide us important inputs based on their time in office or how to handle what lies in the future. So I feel we need organizations like ours and others who can, connect people to resources.
And then Bertha, how do you see the city of Alhambra um, post the initial COVID pandemic, 5 years, 10 years down the line?
Okay. Brian, what Predip just mentioned, because she has shared her vision with me,
Mhm.
on a number of occasions. And this is why I do want to continue to be part of this ministry, because it is important that we continue to do this work because we have no clue what is going to happen in the future. We have no clue. The only thing I can do as Bertha Rivera is to give someone warm food, a word of encouragement, and wish them well. And